What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. This week, Highway to Hell by Acdc and also No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. At the drums, Mr. Dave Grohl. And if you don't know who Dave Grohl is, he was just the drummer of an American rock band called Nirvana, and now he's just the leader of another rock band called Foo Fighters. Not bad, huh? I don't think I have to tell more about Acdc, but I want to say that I appreciate a lot also Mr. Phil Rudd, the drummer of the band for Highway to Hell, but also for many other famous songs. But in this video I don't want to talk about these two amazing drummers, because I will post dedicated drum covers of these two songs, so there will be time for them. In today's video, first subscribe to the channel so you will not miss any videos. So press the button below and activate the bell to receive notifications. I was saying, in today's video I want to talk better about recording process. As I explained in my previous videos, and if you missed them, just check it out. I tried to record drums with no study behind it, just trying to improvise. After recording the Good Father theme, I returned to playing drums in April 2018, only after 4 months. More or less. Basically, I used to live away from home for study purposes, so I could only play when I came home during the holidays. However, in those months I watched many videos about drum recording and miking techniques, and I discovered a very famous technique called GLYN JOHNS technique. Basically, if you want to record drums, you have a lot of alternatives. It depends on what's your goal, but you can achieve a good result also using few microphones, and the GLYN JOHNS technique is perfect for that. It's a technique used for the recording of many drummers, mostly for John Bonham. I mean, if you're a drummer, I really hope that you know who John Bonham is, because he's the drummer. He was the drummer of Led Zeppelin, probably was one of the best drummers in the world. So the technique consists in placing one overhead microphone at the right of the throat tom, while the other one on the top of the snare drum. This placement ensures that microphones pick up well both the drums and the cymbals. Mics must be panned in opposite directions. It means that you hear a mic on the left side while the other one on the right side, and this creates a good stereo image of the drums. Both mics must be at the same distance from the snare drum. In this way, the snare drum is at the center of the stereo image. Of course, we have to use condenser microphones. I gave you a brief explanation of condenser microphones in previous video. Let's say that in a mic setup for the drums, the overhead microphones are the mics positioned high on the drums, and they are mainly used to capture the sound of cymbals. So condenser microphones are used because, as I said in previous video, they are much more sensitive, they can be more panoramic, while dynamic microphones pick up well the sound only if the source is very close to the mic. After many tries, I realized that placing mics too far from drums was not convenient for me, because my room is not acoustically treated, it doesn't sound good, and so putting the mics more close to the drums, I could reduce the natural reverb of the room and in general the room sound captured by mics. But the problem is that if you put the mics too close to the floor tom, you have too volume for it and much more less for the rest of the kit. So I decided to put the mic not at the right of the floor tom, but in a position that allow me to have a good balance in terms of volume between the pieces of the kit. The other mic is on the snare drum, but I decided also to use another condenser microphone in front of the kick, slightly directed towards the toms, in order to improve the presence of all the drums. I was pretty satisfied with the sound. Considering what I used, I still think that the result is good. By the way, during a try, I just decided to film myself and I played the 2 songs that I mentioned at the beginning. So subscribe to the channel, because in the next video you can listen them. Put a like on this video and also let me know what miking technique do you use. Stay tuned.